Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to another Elder Scrolls Online video. And ZeniMax has just finished up their ESO Live and posted the PTS patch notes for the Dragonhold update. And if you felt the way that I did and a lot of other people did about this patch, then watching it and hearing what they were saying about this, about the problems with PvP right now, and reading these notes, it really did give me a lot of hope, to be honest with you guys. Uh, I felt like they probably heard a lot of people saying that they don't play their own game, which they probably took offense to. But to be honest, I really do feel like voicing your opinion is a really effective way to just let them know how you feel about changes. Um, if we didn't say anything, and again, this is coming from uh, my opinion. I'm not saying this is like fact or right or wrong, but from my opinion, I feel like if we didn't say anything about the patch, these dot changes and like a lot of the other things would have just stay the way they were. And I feel like I think they actually went and nerfed like every single dot. But like I said in like my previous videos, and I'm gonna say it again, the dots weren't even really like the biggest problem with that balance patch. I felt like a lot of people kind of adapted to it. Like it was still definitely annoying, don't get me wrong, but there's so many other things. Magpars being the gods of PvP now. Dizzy swing, draining shot. There's so many things that other things that needed to be adjusted as well, and they have really touched on a lot of things that were really a problem with this patch, including the dots. And it was funny. They were while they were talking about the the changes to draining shot and dizzy swing, and those being, by the way, they both lost their stun. Dizzy swing no longer stuns on hit; it now sets you off balance, and then draining shot, um, I believe, just heals you, and yeah, it slows them as well. I believe the other morph, Magnum Shot, still retains the stun, but they wanted to separate those effects from the CCs because every other CC in the game functions like just that. It's a CC. There's no other abilities in the game that completely lock your character down and either heal you for a pretty generous amount, like Draining Shot did, or pretty much did a third of your health, like Dizzy Swing did. Um, and it was funny, like people in the chat were kind of like freaking out about the changes to Draining Shot and Dizzy Swing, but I mean, come on. I'm sure that we all experience this every day, multiple times a day. It is a little bit annoying, and I feel like both of those abilities losing their stun is gonna really make PvP feel a lot better. One of the other things they touched on as well was the meta and how it influences this game in particular. Obviously any game that RPG that is gonna have stats on items and stuff like that is going to have a meta. Is going to occur regardless. It's not something you can stop. But they particularly talked about how it influences this game because of like almost how toxic it is because um, it's to the point where like running a unique build or something that's fun to you is so heavily discouraged that it just makes people, especially a new player, not feel like they can run something that they can feel that they feel is fun. Excuse me, because once they go into that BG or a dungeon or whatever it is they're doing, you get smashed, and then you ask somebody for help and wonder why you're not doing well, and then most of the time the answer you get is because you're not running the meta. So they talked about how they wanted to um, go and find all those abilities that are not being used at all. And even when they are being used in the situation where they're supposed to be used, they're underperforming. Like they really wanted to go around and try to make more things viable. And they've done that through some of like the jewelry sets. They've done a lot of changes with like the 3-piece sets, and even with some of these crafted sets that they've added in with this new patch. It's going to make this making unique builds way more viable than it has been in the past, because honestly, because of the sets that were available and the stats that were applied to them. Like, for I think the last 2 patches, there was really no reason to run a set that wasn't a part of the meta, because of how drastic the stat differences were. So with them talking about changing those things and adding in new sets, like this one right here is like a really cool one. Actually, both of these right here are really cool. Like, this is a really cool heavy set where when you deal a non-heavy attack, you gain stacks of this buff, and then you can heavy attack to proc that and get some resources back. There's another one that's a crafted set, actually, that while you're above 50% health, you gain damage, and then while you're below it, you gain resistances. So they're just actually moving back into the focus with what the original idea and intent for the game was, which was, to play how you want and have fun. So honestly, with watching that and reading these notes, I'm pretty excited. Some of these changes are pretty crazy for most of my builds, with the way that they are. I'm gonna have a lot of fun experimenting with some of the new sets and stuff like that with these changes. But yeah, like I said, I definitely recommend that you guys check out that ESO Live VOD, and let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Do you like these changes? How do you feel about it? What kind of build do you think you're gonna be working on now now that we have these with these patch notes? But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.